And now joining me on the news to further discuss the stock market and the capitalization is Azeez Lawal, the Managing Director, Trustbanc Asset Management Limited. It's always a pleasure having you on the news, Azeez.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning to you too. Now, Azeez, first of all, I'm going to ask you a question about the one thing that caught my attention on the business news today. The latest meeting of Nigeria's Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee is set to start today, Monday. Now, what should we be expecting to be the outcome of this meeting?
That's a big question. Once again, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Particularly, I was seeing central banks globally participate in this in what I call wave of monetary tightening. Well, we've seen global central banks raising benchmark rates significantly. We've seen US double raise rates in the last 4 or 5 months twice. The same thing with Bank of England. We've seen also with Ghana in Africa. You remember that in March, at the MPC in March, the Central Bank of Nigeria, I mean, as far as major economics are concerned in Africa, and globally, I mean, typically the rates that countries follow, I mean, we're like the only country that did not touch the rate at all. We've seen where the CBN consistently in the last 2 years hold rate constant in trying to save the economy. Again, since March, between March and now, we've seen that those economic realities have worsened, and the sound, the noise of increase is now kind of apparent. So CBN increasing rates by the end of their meeting tomorrow, it is very more likely. Another thing that can now come as a surprise or as a shock is possibly devaluation. Again, in the midst of all this political, well, I say political brouhaha, I will still see the CBN most likely, at least increasing NPL. That is more likely. Thank you.
Very interesting indeed. Now, Azeez, the next question is about the investors who lost 64 billion naira. How bad is this, or is this just mere profit taking? And what exactly led to this?
I mean, thank you. That's a very good question, and you kind of gave the answer there. It is actually a mere profit taking. I mean, in the midst of all the negatives in Nigeria, I mean, the stock market seems to be the only silver lining. As I speak, in dollar terms, Nigeria's stock market is the best performing globally. If you want me to say that again, I can say that again. We saw that trend in 2020, and it was sustained in 2021. And one thing is clear from the performance of Nigeria's equity market, that the domestic space, I mean, local investors can sustain the market. We believe that, I mean, the impact of foreign investors is overreported, while the impact of local investors is really, really underreported. What you've seen in Nigeria's equity market is more of sustenance from the local investors, and we'll see that continuing into the coming months. Thank you.
Wow, it's really great to know Nigeria's position in the world, you know. Now,
We are
Azeez,
number one.
yeah,
We're
and I
number
see that
one.
you're very proud of that. Okay,
We
so
are very proud of it.
yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
are there any other major developments in the market that influence the trading activities, and what are your own expectations for this week?
Yeah, as far as major development is concerned, not really. And for expectations this week, I mean, compared to previous week, what we saw last week was more of a slowdown by the bulls. We expect that to persist this week. What we are not going to see is a massive sell down. So we won't see a bearish market, not now. We'll still see market players and portfolio managers majorly trying to restructure their portfolios around mid cap to large cap stocks. So I mean, this week is still going to be it's going to be a quiet market, particularly as the market looks forward to the outcome of NPR. So we see cautious trading today. By the end of tomorrow, what will happen from Wednesday to the end of the week is really going to be shaped by the outcome of NPR tomorrow. Thank you.
And finally, tell us, Azeez, in the fixed income market, what should we be looking forward to for the week?
again, we see a very quiet market this week in the fixed income market. We mix sentiment in the bond market. There's going to be an auction at the Treasury bills market this week. Most likely, like we saw the last auction, either rates are held constant or they take cue from the outcome of the MPR tomorrow. So again, it's more of a week to look forward to what the wise men and women at the MPC will tell us to guide the market. Thank you.
All right, we look forward to the wise men's decisions then. Thank you so much, Azeez Lawal. Always a pleasure having you on the news.
Thank you so much.
All right.